Please adhere to YouTube's selected guidelines before viewing the content of this video. I do not encourage or condone any products, actions, or behaviors shown in this video. All videos are produced in a safe, professional, and controlled environment. Please do not attempt to replicate any actions performed during the video. All actions are performed by professionals.
Alright, so today I'm going to be cracking open a Hot Wheels after a long day. You know, after a long day, you're feeling a little bit tired. You're feeling like maybe you kind of just want to do nothing for the rest of the day. But you know, sometimes after a long day, you're like, you know what? I'm going to have one beer and I'm going to be productive. I'm going to have a great rest of my day. Even though it's been a long day, might have not been the greatest day in the world kind of thing. I'm going to have a beer. I'm going to be productive. Thing is, I've already had a beer. And, you know, I'm still not feeling perfect. And so as such, you know, I'm thinking I need to crack open something else. But because I don't have another beer with me, I figured, you know, instead of cracking open another beer, I'm gonna crack open a Hot Wheels and play around with it and enjoy it, just like I enjoyed Hot Wheels when I was like 5 years old. I might be like literally 20 years older than I was when I was 5 years old, but I still like Hot Wheels just as much, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. And it's been a while since the last time I cracked open a Hot Wheels. It's been probably, I'm gonna have to say, 3 or 4 months since the last time I cracked open a Hot Wheels. I don't really buy a lot of Hot Wheels these days. I don't really crack open a lot of Hot Wheels these days. But you know, I figured after a long day like today, that's exactly what I want to do. And so as such, well, that's exactly what I'm doing during this video. Am I excited for this experience where I'm gonna be cracking open a Hot Wheels after a long day? Safe to say, I am. I am looking forward to this experience. Without further ado, I do suppose I should probably go ahead and quickly cover the packaging. Then after that, I'm going to go ahead and get the car all out, and I'm going to go ahead and showcase the car in 3 dimensions, and I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know what the quality, what the feel, what the overall maneuverability of the car is like. And you know, I'm just gonna have a good time taking a look at this car right here out of the packaging for the very first time. What will I think of this car after I get it out of the packaging? I don't know, but I'm looking forward to finding out. But I do expect to like it much more so than not, because the Hot Wheels I have with me today, to be precise, is a 1980 El Camino. And I am a big fan of 1978, 1979, and 1980 El Caminos, the first couple years of the 5th generation of the Chevrolet El Camino. I'd have to say those are my 3 favorite years of the El Camino's entire run. And while there are some other fantastic years, I am just a massive sucker for how the first 3 years of the 5th gen El Camino looks, and that's exactly what this is. This is one of the first years of, well, the Chevy El Camino, except it's a die cast of that. Pretty cool stuff, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. And since the car inside this packaging is lowered, it's got a little bit of a raised hood, and you know, it's got a nice paint job. You know, I'm expecting to like it a lot more so than not, I will admit. But as said, first off, we've got to go over the packaging, so let's go ahead and do that real quick. We can see we get a blue background up top up here and a little bit down here as well. And we can see there are some light areas, like there's a light blue line right there kind of thing, almost looking white. And then there's like medium, a little bit light, a little bit darker, medium once again, and then some like sparkles kind of coming out, really trying to make it look like the car right here is kind of driving towards you, I'd have to say. We could see over here just as Hot Wheels, just like that, in the standard Hot Wheels flame logo, which of course looks classic, looks fantastic in my personal opinion. And under that logo, we can see, of course, the design of the car itself, the 1980 El Camino, which we can see right here, but also right here. Now, it's the exact same car, but slightly more detailed design up top, of course, because this is a die-cast. They can't put all of the true details of the actual car on the die-cast, or if they did, it would cost a couple $100, not $1.25. But this design right here looks fantastic in my personal opinion, and they've really nailed how a modified, like, well, early 5th gen El Camino would look, kind of thing. I think it looks fantastic. I really like the front fascia, the lights they've done up really well, the bumper right here as well, the hood, it all looks great. And I mean, like, time and time and time again, Hot Wheels as a company has proved that they aren't just a company cashing in on car enthusiasts. They are a company that is run by, at least mainly, car enthusiasts, because they put out stuff that, well, and I just kicked my tripod by accident, but basically what I'm trying to say is that Hot Wheels has proved time and time and time again that they are car enthusiasts themselves. And so as such, I'm not terribly surprised to see the level of accuracy with the, well, design right here that I do see. But nonetheless, it is much appreciated, and I'm very glad to see the level of accuracy that I, well, do see. To the side of this design right here, we can see there's a truck or something like that. What truck is that? It looks like just like a Hot Wheels branded off-road or something like that. It says 4 out of 10. I guess this might be part of a collection or something along those lines. Up here, there's like a dark blue sort of area. It just says 43 out of 250. I don't know what that means either. As much as I do love my Hot Wheels, I am not a Hot Wheels hobbyist by any means. I am a casual enthusiast of Hot Wheels, so I really don't know what any of those numbers mean, I'll admit. To the side over there just says Hot Wheels Hot Trucks right there. So I guess this is probably part of the Hot Trucks collection or something along those lines. As a background, underneath this plastic capsule, we can see the shadow from the El Camino right there, along with a white background to emphasize the car itself. And over here on that white background just says Mattel right there, just says 80 El Camino right there, although it does not say Chevy El Camino. Otherwise, they would have to license this to Chevy, which would take a chunk out of Hot Wheels' money. I respect that, you know what I'm saying? I like my money myself, I'll acknowledge. But just says 80s El Camino right there. Although actually, now that I'm looking at it, it does still have a trademark symbol. Does it actually say on the back of the pack that this is like registered? Wait a minute, never mind. They are giving GM, they are giving Chevy some money. I completely thought they were just like, yeah, we're just gonna say like 80 El Camino and like El Camino. We're just not gonna say Chevy and it's gonna be all good, but nope, I was completely wrong. This is still a GM licensed product, technically speaking, as we can see right there. That is too amusing. I completely missed that. Just says 3+ right there, just letting everybody know not to give this car to your 2-year-old. They might try to eat it after all. Kids are pretty stupid, not gonna lie, y'all. I'm not saying that I wasn't stupid when I was a kid. I was pretty stupid when I was a kid. Had a couple dents in my forehead because I kept running into doorknobs. Probably explains a lot, honestly. It probably, actually, that would explain a lot. I did ram my head into the concrete a couple times too. Yeah. You know, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, it all makes sense. Yeah, no, it does. It does. I was pretty stupid as a child. Still do plenty of stupid stuff today, but at least I'm aware of it most of the time. But yeah, that's pretty much all that's going on with the front of the packaging. Overall, a pretty classic, clean Hot Wheels look with a nice detailed design up here, and of course the die cast down here and all the information you might want to know. Now, one important thing to mention about this packaging is that this is not the OG size for Hot Wheels packaging. This is the new grocery store size for Hot Wheels packaging. I bought this Hot Wheels at a Wegmans, and so they've got the grocery store sort of more miniature size so they can fit more Hot Wheels next to the checkout line and everything like that kind of thing. But yeah, it's still pretty nice, solid looking Hot Wheels packaging by all means, and you know, I think it looks pretty good, if you ask me at least. And I think I can say with confidence that the team leading Hot Wheels, maybe not Mattel as a whole, but the team leading the Hot Wheels brand is probably made up of car enthusiasts a little bit more so than not, and that's something I appreciate. But without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the back, which we can see is just black ink printed on brown paper, printed on just the back of the cardboard. Lots of information saying don't give this to your 0 to 3-year-old. Lots of numbers, stuff like that, just saying small parts may be generated in many different languages. Says Hot Wheels Hot Trucks 2025, 43 out of 250. Says something in, I think, Russian. Says GM official licensed product right there. It just says General Motors trademarks used under license to Mattel Inc. Les marques General Motors sont utilisées sous licence par Mattel Inc. It says the same thing in French underneath. It just says not for use with some Hot Wheels sets. Apparently, and then it goes on to say that in like 20 different languages. It says copyright 2024 Mattel. Just talks about how the Hot Wheels is a copyright of Mattel. Just says like how to throw stuff away and whatnot as well, kind of thing. I don't know what that means. I don't know really what any of this means. I don't know what a lot of this means. It just sounds like a lot of information. They don't just make Hot Wheels for the United States market. They make Hot Wheels for many different markets, so I assume this is a lot of information for the other markets where they do sell the Hot Wheels. But what I do know is that the barcode is right there. And yeah, that's really all that's going on with the packaging itself. I do suppose without further ado, before I go ahead and actually get it cracked open, I should probably, I should probably get a thumbnail. That's probably a good idea. So let's go ahead and grab a thumbnail real quick. Well, hopefully one of those will do as a thumbnail for the video. Since I've now covered everything I wanted to cover about the packaging, I do suppose without further ado, should probably go ahead and get this plastic bubble that bulges out just a little bit all kind of off, and should probably go ahead and get my El Camino all out. Now, I'm sure some of the Hot Wheels enthusiasts in the comments are like, oh my God, what did you just do? You just ruined it. I'm not looking to resell my car. I'm not looking to use the packaging ever again. It is getting thrown away after this video. What I want is the car inside, and I don't care about its value. I'm here for the car. That's what I'm saying. And overall... Oh man, this is nice. I really like this. Yeah, this is fire. This is fire. Oh yeah. No, this is good. Oh man, this is so sick. Oh yo. Oh man. Oh, that's so fire. It's so good. It's so good. Oh man. I need like a flat surface to like put this on. There we go. That'll work. So we can see just putting it wheels down, that the back has a little bit of a slant, is lifted a little bit more than the front. So it's got a little bit of a slant to it that kind of goes down just a little bit, like that kind of thing, just goes down just a little bit. So it's definitely set up in like a drag configuration, I'd say. No big surprise, a lot of drag cars have the kind of lifted hood scoops that we mentioned earlier. The bed itself is definitely higher up than it would be if this was a stock El Camino, but this is obviously not a stock El Camino. So it's got a raised bed, or a raised bed floor, I do suppose is really the right way of putting it. I'm not sure what the truly correct definition for a vehicle with a raised bed would be. I love like 90s mini trucks, and I love utes and stuff like that, but I don't know the correct terminology, I'll acknowledge. So if y'all know, let me know. But man, the detail of it is really sick. One thing I am just noticing right off the bat is that the paint on the front is just slightly asymmetrical. We can see the black strips over here. They don't quite meet the very edge of the hood, whereas on this side they go actually just right on it / slightly over up here, and then the white strips in the middle. They are slightly asymmetrical as well. One side, it's not right on the edge, and then the other side, it is right on the edge. So, I mean, like, this is a $1.25 toy. I'm not expecting the greatest quality in the world from this die-cast car, but that is something to mention nonetheless. There are a couple nicks and scratches just kind of on the paint, probably from packaging, but in my opinion, that kind of gives it personality, and that's actually something I really appreciate, because I like patina on my cars. And I mean, like most Hot Wheels, they don't come with patina, but this one has come with just the tiniest bit of patina. I think it's really nice. Just got a couple like nicks and scratches and stuff like that. The red itself has a little bit of like I'd have to say like a dark, almost sort of like black pearlescent to it, which is really nice. And then the like white and the orange and stuff like that kind of thing, and all the other colors, it is just a little bit more just sort of matte, or just sort of like not like clear-ish looking. It's just sort of just there. It's just paint. Whereas the red, you can kind of feel like you're seeing something underneath kind of thing. The red really does look like a nice car paint, whereas everything else is just kind of like, all right, this is painted on kind of thing. And that's just kind of how it is with cars a lot of times. You'll see a car with a really nice pearlescent, and then it'll have a strip going down it, and you can't see nothing through strip, but the rest of the paint, you can see stuff through. It makes sense. There's a little bit of realism going on, you know what I'm saying? Taking a look at the bottom of the car, we can see it's not made out of metal. I don't think Hot Wheels have had bottoms made out of metal for, oh man, probably like 30 years now or something. It's been a fat minute, I'm confident in saying that. But yeah, plastic bottom right here. We can see like the transmission right there and stuff like that. They've got some axles, like the rear diff back there and everything like that, which I think is super cool. The tailpipes and the front like radiator and the bumper and whatnot, all made out of that gray plastic. Just says 1980 Chevy El Camino, trademark GM, made in Malaysia, just right there. And we can actually see the exhaust as well on either side. And then we can also see it just says Hot Wheels in the middle, and then below that just says copyright 2007 through 2020, Mattel 1186MJ1NL. Don't know what that means, but isn't NL the Netherlands? I don't know. And then it just says over here GRY33. I guess that's probably the color of the gray, or maybe that's the model name. And we can see the two little silver dots right there, just holding everything together. The wheels themselves are black, but they have a gold rim to them. And then there's, of course, black for the tires itself. And yeah, no sort of license plate design right there, or like any area you'd see the license plate on the bumper or on the tailgate or anything like that. But no surprise, this is a modified El Camino after all. You don't need a license plate if you can outrun the police after all. And man, the interior is a sort of like beige, I'd have to say, which is pretty like 1970s, 1980s. We can see that same thing in the bed right there. And front fascia, it really is the front fascia for a 1980 El Camino. Man, that's pretty solid. This is pretty solid. That's pretty good. I like it. This is pretty good. It's definitely not like the highest quality diecast car I own. I own higher quality ones, but I'm pretty happy with this. For I think the $1.25, $1.50 I paid for this, I am very happy with it, frankly put, and I really like it. I really like it. It's not perfect. You know, the paint on the hood right here, it's a little bit off center. You know, some of the paint on this side, we can kind of see it going over the edges right there kind of thing. But that's one of the things I like about it. It's not perfect, but it has a charm due to that. It's got a little bit of that, you know, it's a modified car. Modified cars ain't perfect. There ain't no way to make a modified car perfect. And this ain't perfect by any means. I like it. I like it. And man, I almost just dropped it. But what was I about to say? I was about to say, like, this makes me honestly just like the 1980, like the first 3 years of the 5th gen El Camino even more. Like, I just love like the front fascia so much. I think it goes so hard. And then just the swoop back with the glass back there, the interior looks fire. Oh man, I do like the first couple years of the 5th gen El Camino. I think it's pretty cool. I like it quite a bit. I'm not gonna lie. And I think I can say with confidence, I really like this diecast car. I really like this Hot Wheels. And it's definitely lifted my spirits after a long day, you know what I'm saying? Let me just put it that way. It's lifted my spirits after a long day. Absolutely no complaints on my behalf. None at all. Oh man. Oh man. I am very happy. I am very satisfied with my purchase. I am. What I gotta do though, honestly, is I gotta get myself, like, I have never owned like Hot Wheels tracks. I'll acknowledge. But what I gotta do is I gotta get myself like some Hot Wheel tracks and whatnot, so I can like set up a whole course. So it's like if y'all ever walked into like a restaurant or into like a grocery store that has like a train track set up where it like goes around the store, I love those. They're so fire. I want one of those too, but that's a side topic for another day because this video is all about Hot Wheels, not model trains. But getting a Hot Wheel track that I could like set up, and it like starts in like the upper corner of like a room, and then it like goes down and around the walls, and then it goes all the way down to like the floor, and I could just go, yeah, test it out, see how good it rolls. That'd be pretty fire. That would be pretty fire. You know, in that same room, I would also need like one of those floor mats or one of those rugs that looks like a city. I love those. Those are so fire. Like the city rugs. Y'all remember those? I remember those. So fire. I never owned any like actual Hot Wheel like tracks or like loop-de-loops when I was younger. But I did have one of those rugs, and when I was a kid, played with the Hot Wheels on that rug so much that it gave out. The rug just disintegrated. It's fire, fire. I gotta admit, cracking open a Hot Wheels after a long day, it's a good experience. It is, without a doubt, a very solid experience, an experience that I've thoroughly enjoyed today. And you know, this is a Hot Wheels model that I really like. I will acknowledge, I am more of a Matchbox Cars person than I am a Hot Wheels person. A lot of the time, most of the time, I prefer Matchbox Cars. I just like the more factory look of them, I think is really the right way of putting it. Always have, ever since I was a kid. I've always been a bigger fan of Matchbox. But every once in a while, there's a Hot Wheels that comes out, and I'm like, man, that is super sick. I gotta buy that. And so I do. And sometimes I just spot them on the shelf, and I'm like, that's dope. And so I buy it. And that is exactly what happened with this car. And I'm so glad I bought it. So glad I cracked it open today. And without a doubt, I am very happy with my purchase. And I am looking forward to having this on my side table for the foreseeable future. Forever. Because I really like this Hot Wheels car. It's so dope. It's so dope. Absolutely no complaints on my behalf. Let me tell y'all what. It's sick. Oh yeah, and it says Hot Wheels on the side, on the front fender right there. Yeah, yes sir. I know there's like different rarities to like Matchbox cars and Hot Wheels cars and stuff like that kind of thing. Like there's like the super rare Hot Wheels that you like have to find based off of like a paint scheme or a tag on the car itself or something like that. I don't really know a lot about Hot Wheels. I'm not a super in-depth Hot Wheels enthusiast. But I am a casual enthusiast, and I'm very happy. I'm very happy with this. Super sick. No complaints on my behalf. I like real full-size cars, but I also like my models, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. And would I complain about owning a 5th gen El Camino to put this 5th gen Hot Wheels version of an El Camino on the front dash of? Yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all. I wouldn't mind owning a 5th gen El Camino. I wouldn't mind having one, I'll acknowledge. without a doubt, I am happy with my purchase. And without a doubt, I have had a good time making this video today. And I hope you all have enjoyed watching. If you guys have enjoyed watching this video where I cracked open a Hot Wheels after a long day, of course, make sure to like and subscribe for more content. I have my Instagram, my book, my merch, everything like that all in the description down below. Go check it all out. Like, subscribe, as said. And let me know what y'all think of the Hot Wheels in the comments down below. Yeah. Appreciate y'all watching. To the next one. Excuse me. To the next one. Stay safe in peace and have a great one. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying?